Yes. Hi Rupal, how are you?
Hi, Vandana. I'm doing pretty good. You tell me, how are you?
I'm doing great too. Thank you for asking. And Rupal, I'm very happy and excited to have conversation with you ahead because since long time we are planning, but finally today we are going to have the conversation. Okay, so I would request you to please introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure, Vandana. I'm delighted as well. I was expecting this conversation to happen a long time ago, but it couldn't happen. So today we are doing it. I'm really, really delighted and happy. So if I go on introducing myself, as you know, my name is Rupal. I'm a content creator and teacher of English. I have been teaching high school students for past few months, and that is what I love doing. I was born and raised in Sihor, Madhya Pradesh, which is a small town really famous for wheat production. And my journey on YouTube started a few months ago, which is 8 to 10 months ago already. And I feel I am doing great here. And that's a bit about me right now.
Thank you. So you have a lot to tell. And okay, so shall I introduce myself?
Absolutely, you have to. Yes.
Yes, okay. So my name is Vandana Chaturbedi and I basically hail from Uttar Pradesh, but currently I'm staying in Delhi. Talking about my work experience, I've been working as a soft skill trainer since 5 years, and along with that I just thought to start my own YouTube channel so that I'll be able to connect with people outside and can help them to improve their English communication, the people who are really excited to start their journey. Okay, apart from it, talking about my hobbies, I really love spending time in nature because this is something that refresh my mind and soul. So that is all about me.
Yeah, the feeling is mutual. And you said you really like spending time in nature and you
Yes.
just greenery all around. So that is what, see.
Okay. I really want to know about your journey, like how you work on your English language, how you improve, because you are speaking so fluent and it's really beautiful hearing you. So I really want to know about your journey, like how you started and everything.
Okay, thank you for the compliment. I am really, really happy that you found me, speaking well. And I feel proud of myself right now. Thank you so much. You made my day. So, if I start my journey goes back to 2021 when I started my English speaking journey. It was never like that. I never ever spoke English. I was in an English medium school. So, I always had my roots, okay, there in English. But, a certain kind of void was there that I was never being able to speak in English. I was being able to read, write, and a lot of things I can learn, memorize, but I was not being able to communicate. Okay. So after my 12th standard, I went up and took a college in Bhopal near my hometown. When I went there, I realized that people are using their communication as a skill and I am lacking somewhere. I started feeling inferior about it, like, okay, I don't know how to communicate, and this is really, really important, I feel. Okay, so that's where I felt like, okay, I need to learn this skill. I need to learn this language because it has become a survival skill now. Okay, you cannot just say, okay, English is just a language. What to do? Why would you learn? No, you have to. It's a global language. You need it. So that's how, not even then, I decided that I will learn English. But consciously, I started learning it in 2021, like 4 years ago, 5 years ago almost now. So I
Okay.
decided I will start speaking, even if I am lacking at grammar, sentences, phrasal verbs, vocab. I would not mind it. I will just speak it. And I never wanted to jump the gun. So I just tried speaking whatever I had in my mind. I started watching
Okay.
certain YouTube channels. Okay, conversational videos were not really famous, or maybe I was not aware about it. Okay, so I would just follow a few, YouTube channels and I would listen to them. And I always made sure that my listening skills are always, always on point so that I do not miss anything. Okay, and apart from listening, I followed reading. Okay, I read. Okay, and simpler books. I always read simpler books. I was not always hurrying or jumping or concluding with some difficult books, but simpler books because my English was already weak. Okay. And if I start reading some really difficult books, I would feel bored and then I will have to keep that book away. Then I will never be comfortable with reading. So I just did that. I just started reading with certain books. I started following some channels. There was no such thing as chat GPT or AI then. It has started just, I have been aware
Right.
about. Yes, I am really aware about it now, which is since 2024. So, yes, I have been incorporating the use of AI in my daily life and I have been learning with it. I have been using ChatGPT to an extent I can't tell you, to just work on my English. And these days I have not been communicating a lot, but if you have asked me if I have to ask someone and I have to tell someone what would be those three, four tips I would give to someone who is just starting their English language journey. So start listening to people, okay, who are speaking in
Okay.
English, not someone who is actually native, because I'm not saying don't follow native, but follow someone, even if he is or she is native, follow her or him who you can be comfortable with or whom can connect with. Okay,
Right.
that is very important. Even if you start following someone and you don't feel like doing it, after a certain time, you will feel bored if you do not understand the language. So choose your
Exactly.
person wisely, choose your partner wisely. Then, if I come to the second thing, reading helps a lot. Okay, you can start reading 2 to 3 pages a day, if not much. 5 pages a day is minimum, and I feel it's doable. 5 pages a day is doable. You can do it,
Right.
but with simpler books. Okay, and if you do
Okay.
not know anyone, there are a few apps also which are available. And though I haven't used any app till now, but I can really suggest that there are a few apps which provide free partners. Like there was an app, I have actually missed the name. One of my co-learners and YouTubers told me that they have been on that app, Peer Up. The name is Peer Up.
Okay.
Okay, have been there and it is helping them a lot. And if you think that you need to see a lot of progress in a shorter duration, then you need a tutor. I highly believe in this.
Okay, so you really have mentioned very important and essential pointers, like the one you said, listening and the reading. I think these are very important, and in my journey too, I've been very much stick to these steps and process, because whenever I read something or listen something, I always come across some new vocabulary, new words, the way people and the speaker are speaking to each other. So these are very important pointers. Apart from it, one more question, Rupal, that I really want to ask. Like, there are a lot of people who face difficulty while thinking directly in English. So we as an Indian always used to think in our mother tongue. Whenever we are going to speak in English, first we think in mother tongue, then we used to translate it into English language, and that's where we start facing difficulty, and we start taking pauses and everything. So what one can do to directly think in English?
Okay, so coming to your point,
Mhm.
yes, it's really difficult to think in English, to start thinking in English when it is not your native language. Okay, because when you talk about native language, English as a native language for Americans, for Britishers, they have been speaking in that language since their childhood. Okay, they were 3 and 4, they started thinking and listening and talking. Again, the part listening comes here. They have been listening English throughout their lives. Okay, and this is how they have been catching words and speaking, right?
Right,
So
right.
our condition and our situation is a bit different, right? We
Mm.
have always spoken in Hindi. Okay, our mother.
Yes.
So since my childhood, I have always heard Hindi. I have always spoken in Hindi. So there was no role or exposure of English in my house. Okay, so
Okay.
I was not someone who started thinking in English. But how can we do it? We can start thinking in chunks. Okay. For example, you know a few words. For example, I am making tea. So you know tea, you know making. At least think about those two words in English. Start thinking about. For example, if I have to say मैं चाय बना रही हूँ, why would I say मैं चाय बना रही हूँ? I am making tea in your brain. And I'll tell you, let me be very clear. Thinking in English doesn't come really soon. It takes a lot of time. It takes practice. It takes a lot of time. If you are telling a beginner to start thinking in English, it might be really difficult for them. For that,
Right.
they need to have some practice, hands-on practice on some grammar, basic vocab. They need to listen to people. So I feel listening is very important. I have been emphasizing a lot because it is really important. For example, you may have used a few words. Let's take that sentence. I am making tea. Okay. He might have
Mm.
heard me telling this, or she might have heard me telling this, someone who is a beginner or coming from a Hindi medium school. He heard me that I'm saying I am making tea. Now he will, run his brain, and he will get to know why would she say that? What does that mean? I am making tea. It simply means I am making tea, simply means मैं चाय बना रही हूँ. Now he has learned this sentence. Now, after saying this sentence for 3 to 4 times, these small words and chunks will register in his brain. That is how he will start thinking in English. I was not
Exactly.
someone who was thinking in English in the initial days. It took me some time. It took me almost 1.5 years to at least come to the point where I can think in English.
Okay.
So, thinking in English, I cannot suggest someone who is just starting. Because a lot of people will come at me like, okay, how can we think in English when we don't even know the words, nor the grammar, nothing?
Yes, right. But what happened actually, people who are at their initial age of learning this language, so they don't have that confidence, to talk to the people in public or with their friends or at workplace. So, to avoid that, the situation of embarrassment, we can say, or that fear, people can start talking to themselves, because you know what happened when I was at initial stage of learning this language. I was not that confident to talk to the people out there. So what I did, I started talking to myself at home in English, like you said. So whenever I used to do anything, I keep talking to myself, like I'm watching TV, I'm sitting on sofa, I'm preparing food. So whatever I used to do, I keep talking to myself in this way. I started to gain confidence, that I was like, okay, I'm able to speak whatever I want to say. And along with that, there is one more thing that I came to know about what are the areas where I'm lacking on. Am I feeling difficulty on finding English words, like am I lacking on vocabulary or grammar or sentence framing? So I think thinking in English, if we really want to think in English directly, then we have to somewhere start with this process to talk to ourselves or among our circle, family, friends, where there is nobody to judge us. But yeah, and I think having a group or circle of friends or someone who can really guide us, that would be also great, because we will be able to talk to them without any hesitation. So I think, yes, like you also mentioned, it's an important process, but initially we'll ask a beginner to do that. I think he or she might feel difficulty, right?
Yes, because I concur with that. You are absolutely right. And yes, beginners would be skeptical if you would directly tell them to think in English. Like you said,
Mhm.
this I have done in my life, in my English language journey. I used to talk to myself because I had no one to talk to. Okay.
Okay.
And this is right that even if I had someone to talk to, I was scared. I was frightened. What if they will come at me and judge me? What if they will think, if she doesn't know English, why is she speaking? Why is she speaking? Okay. So I did not wish to face it. I never wanted to face it. Okay. So this is one of
Right.
the talking to myself. So as a beginner, you should always talk to yourself in the mirror, maybe in the camera, record yourself. Just make sure that even if you are not speaking, read 10 lines, record yourself while reading 10 lines. This will help you get clarity in your voice, clarity in your words. Okay. I was never
Yes.
clear, actually. I was never. And I never had mother tongue influence a lot because I was always speaking Hindi. But many a times felt that I was always using a few Hindi words in my English conversations. Like,
Okay.
okay, doing well, but tujhe pata hai, I would use it this way. Okay,
Mm.
this
Mm.
happened with me a lot because I am used to speaking in Hindi. Okay, so I never had
Yes.
mother tongue, but I had certain words which I was not being able to speak in the starting because they were difficult for me. So you cannot challenge or you cannot ask a beginner to think in English because they won't be able to do it. But yes, you can ask a beginner to start recording themselves, talking to themselves in the mirror, or maybe they can just read out loud. Reading out loud helps. You won't even realize it will help you. Do you just try it? Read five, just read 2 pages aloud, okay, every day. And on the
Right.
30th, you will realize you have got so much clarity in your words. You can speak better. You won't take a lot of pauses. Fillers will not be there. I used to take a lot of fillers, huh? I'm telling you, this used to happen with me. So this is what I feel. So they should start recording themselves. Please do it from the first day. Okay, just read something, record yourself. And after 15 to 20 days, just do not read anything, just speak on your own. It can be broken English,
Mm. Mm.
even if it is a bit of your efforts, but just speak it up.
Okay, right. So I think the people will get this point because, like you said, record yourself. I think this is very important. Apart from it, reading that you mentioned, because I always read at least 1 hour every day, and after reading instantly, I feel so clarity, while speaking, and I always come across new words, and I come to know like how these words have been actually used in the sentences. So I think this is again a great way to improve your vocabulary, your clarity, and everything. Okay, that's really great. Rupal, like we are talking about the beginner, right? So along with that, there is one more question. Like the people who are really, starting their journey, or they really finding people to talk to, but they always have a fear of being judged or laughed at. So what would you like to say, like how we can overcome this fear, or how we can handle people out there who create these kind of moments, like they start making fun of us or anything like that? How we can handle all of this?
So I would not like to. I know whatever you are saying is absolutely right, and I second that. But I would not like to preach. I would just tell them ignore.
No.
Start. Ignorance is bliss. Okay, your factors, their factors might never be same. Okay, you come from a different background. They are coming from a different background, and let me tell you one thing: someone who has learned on their own, or someone who has climbed their own way up, they will never make your fun. I always tell this thing: an athlete will never make fun of you for running slow because he knows what it takes to run slow. Okay. A billionaire
Right.
will never make fun of you for starting a business. Okay. Because he is an
Right.
entrepreneur. He knows what it takes to start a business or having a startup. He knows it. So someone who has done it will always value it. And if someone is not valuing it, just ignore them because they do not want you to learn, but you want to learn. They do not want to do it for themselves, but you want to do it for yourself. Just focus on yourself, ignore them, and they might judge you. You might stand somewhere. I have felt a lot embarrassed sometimes. Okay, there were times when I actually embarrassed because I used to speak wrong grammar. Okay, and I would make blunders. Okay, but I know for beginners, it is difficult because I have been taking classes. Okay, beginner friendly spoken classes, and there are ladies and women who come from Hindi medium school and they are homemakers. Okay, they have never
Okay.
spoken English. Okay, so I have to tell them single sentence. What does this mean? Sometimes I have to make them write spellings as well. So start from the very basic. Okay, learn words, learn spellings, and do not take it that okay, I need to speak from the second day itself. No, give it your time. Take it slowly, learn slowly, gradually, but you will see a difference. Consistency is must. If you keep doing it, make mistakes, fine. Keep making mistakes. Ultimately, in just 6 to 7 days, you will get to know that you have made this mistake. That mistake will, you will find that mistake. Nobody else. You will find that mistake if you keep doing it. Yeah, right?
Right.
I know
Yes.
I have made mistakes in this video. I completely know it. I'm aware. Okay. But I will make sure that I work on it because I have understood it. So this is what I have to say. Thank
Right.
you for listening. I spoke a lot, I guess.
No, I totally agree with your pointer. Even I'm getting a lot when you are like the way you said how to handle people and just ignore them. And the people who are really made something, they are not going to make fun of you. I think this is really great. It will change the entire perspective of looking at the people. Okay. Along with that, I know I'm continuously asking questions, Rupal, but the last question that I really want to ask, like there are a lot of people when they start this journey, they always decide time at very initial stage. Like I'm going to speak English in just 3 months or in just 6 months. So adding a factor of time limitation, is it really going to help people, or is it going to add just extra, stress on them? What would you say?
Okay, so if you want to speak, if someone who is just beginning with their journey, who is just commencing their journey, if I talk about an intermediate learner, for example, I am an intermediate to upper intermediate learner right now. If I have to make myself better at English or I have to polish my communication skills, I can do that in 3 to 6 months. I can with rigorous
Okay.
effort. Okay, with rigorous efforts. But do not keep a stringent limit, okay, for beginners. Never do that. Will you be doing your practice, will you be doing English practice for 24 hours a day? Okay, no, right? So how
No.
can you tell yourself that I can learn in 3 months? Language is vast. Language is never going to, language has no limits, you know infinite.
Right.
You will have new things every day. So how can you say that I will learn English in 3 months or 6 months? It is not possible. You can polish, you can get better, you can be an intermediate learner from beginner in 3 months. But language is something you learn every day. It's ever evolving. So it's not something you can do in 180 days or 90 days. You don't do the same thing 24 hours a day, right? You have a lot more things to do. So even if you are devoting your 1 hour to English speaking learning for beginners, okay, I'm saying for intermediate, they can do half an hour also. For beginners, even if they are just allowing their 1 hour to English, they might take at least an year. They might take at least a year to get comfortable in the skin of English. Then they might speak with everyone. Okay.
Right. Right, because adding just a factor of time limitation, I think it's just going to add one more stress on you because you already have pressure of learning this language. And again, when you're thinking about time every time, and I think in this way, you are going to grab something irrelevant for you, like any book, shortcut, something that will just lead to wastage of time, nothing else. Okay, Rupal, thank you so much for sharing your insights on this. Okay, so
I
do
would
you have?
add one more thing. Okay.
Yes.
One,
Okay.
do not jump here and there. Do not use a lot of resources. Sorry. No, stick to one or two resources. Do not see a lot of videos or a lot of channels. They might not help you. Sorry. They
Right.
might not help you. But stick to a few and rigorously, consistently go through them. This will help you.
Right. Okay, thank you for adding this point. I think yes, because I have seen people who used to purchase a lot of books and they, spending their entire day watching English podcast on YouTube or TV, or they are just, like they are just trying to grab a lot of things, but they are lacking on basic fundamental process. So I think they should be more focused on limited resources. They can just go for one or two channel or few books, and obviously they need to. So basically learning a language is not that easy, so we need to start working on foundation, on roots basically, and that's only we will be able to step up. So basically we need to take step by step every day, right? Okay, so Rupal, we are just left with 10 minutes. Do you have any question to ask?
Not actually, I do not have any question to ask. I am just here, sitting here and listening to you, and I must appreciate you for doing everything you have been doing. You are helping a lot of people, and I realize that you have been asking me questions that are, like, very ground level ones. Okay, like people do think such questions. I have thought such questions when I was in my initial journey. So I really want to appreciate you. That's really great.
Thank you so much, Rupal. It really means a lot to me. Even when I started this channel, I kept this as my motive. Even today, also, whenever I make any content, I always think with the perspective of a person who will visit my channel to learn something new. So thank you so much for that. Even I have, visited your channel. So you're really doing great. I have also watched some conversational video, and that's where I thought to connect with you. Like, yes, I need to have a conversation with Rupal because you are really doing great. So thank you for that, for doing it for people also. Okay, Rupal. So we'll surely connect again with some other topic.
A big head. Thank you so much, so much. It was lovely talking to you.